Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. I'm Mary Felling. I'm a physical therapist and I've been in practice for over 30 years. The last 25 years I've specialized in an area called the John Barnes Myofascial Release approach, and I teach people how to do simple techniques at home to relieve chronic pain. Today's video is going to show you two different techniques that help relieve headaches. Let's get started. Today I'm going to start with two different techniques that'll help you with any headache pain you're having, whether it's chronic or just time-to-time headaches. So let's go to that first technique. This one is to help relieve tension through the neck and the jaw, which eventually can create tension headaches. So we're going to take your hand, you're going to take this little V in the web of your hand, and that's going to go over the notch at the base of your throat. Your other hand goes right on top of it, same way. In this position, you just let your hands sink back into your chest. They won't go far. There's not a lot of tissue here. So it's kind of like you're sinking into wet clay or wet sand. And then you stop when you feel like I can't go any further. If you're muscling to press in, that's too much. You're just sinking. The body is very quickly going to stop you. There's just not much here to sink into. Now, holding that position and without sliding your hands over the skin, direct and the slack downward. So you're taking out the slack now down towards the floor. So I'm still sunk back, and at the same time I've taken the slack out. So I've got two pressures going out, back and down, and now holding that without my hands moving, I'm going to lift my chin up to the ceiling till I feel a stretch anywhere through the front, and let your jaw relax. This is the position. So it's not this. It's completely relaxed. So close your doors and windows so no one can see you. This is not a charming position. And we're going to start the clock. Everybody in their position. Here we go. Why am I starting a clock? Because the minimum position for myofascial release is 5 minutes. And that's very different than traditional therapies, which say, oh, we just stretch for 15 to 45 seconds. When we're working with the fascial system, so in your body, you have this sinewy cobweb, and it runs from the bottom of your feet up to the top of your head, side to side, and front to back. And this cobweb, that's called the fascia, surrounds, it supports, and it infuses everything in the body. And that includes your muscles, ligaments, tendons, organs, eyeballs, spinal cord, bones, everything has this cobweb around and within it. Well, when it tightens down from overuse and repetitive use or traumas, it can create over 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, whatever's in its way. And so it not only tightens the area up, but it also can create pain. So to release the fascia, we use mechanical energy, and right now you're using the mechanical energy of elongation. And mechanical energy placed into the human body for 5 minutes or longer elicits this electrical flow. It's called the piezoelectric effect. And the piezoelectric effect, that's what moves along the fascia, and when it comes to those areas of injury, those are called myofascial restrictions. It releases them, it softens them, rehydrates the area, and lets it elongate. So now the pressure is relieved from those pain-sensitive structures, so you have less pain, and you increase the movement, the mobility of the tissue. The most important thing on this 5-minute technique is never ever let go of the position. If you had to sneeze, or you had to get a drink of water or something, come back to the position, but the clock starts over. So it is a 5-minute uninterrupted mechanical energy set into the system. So while you're here, and remember your position is still that gaping mouth position. While you're here, what you're feeling for is a change in anything in your neck, your head, your shoulders. Because some of you might be here and go, I feel this kind of pull into my TMJ. Or you might say, I feel this pulling up into my eye or maybe your forehead. That's great. It just tells you that there's so much tension through the fascia of your neck. It has created tension through the rest of the myofascial cobweb. Myo means muscle, so we're talking about the muscle and fascia component. It has created a myofascial tension through the rest of the cobweb and is causing pain in other places. So sometimes you could have pain across your forehead, and you could do this technique if you have a headache or forehead headache. This will help relieve that. So you're still here, and as you're here, you may even feel that your system is releasing. You might feel like, oh, this doesn't feel as tight anymore, or you might feel, oh my gosh, I feel, is this becoming painful? So the way you work with your technique is, as long as you're staying relaxed and as long as you're breathing naturally, you're fine. You're not hurting yourself. You're not harming your body. Even if you might feel very intense pain through other areas of your head, neck, or even your shoulders, you're not injuring yourself. You're just getting some good mechanical energy to start releasing that fascia. However, if you do tense up, oh, this is so painful, or you're holding your breath, it is too much. You need to back off a little. You might have to bring your chin down a bit. So as you're in the position, you might start feeling like your head just kind of go like this. Stay with that, because you just got to release, and now the fascia is, you've got to release in a fascial tension pattern here. And it's allowed your head to move out because that is now elongated. So you'll find yourself maybe getting now into positions where you have new tension pattern. You go, oh my gosh, now I feel this up here, further up, right under my chin, right under my jawbone. Great. You're starting to get different releases. So in traditional therapy, I was talking earlier about how it's a 15 to 45 second hold. And this is 5 minutes. We're coming to the end of our 5 minutes. So you may certainly continue holding this position, especially if you're feeling changes. It's always just a minimum of 5 minutes. You can be in this position 10 or 15 minutes. Won't injure, won't hurt yourself. You just get more and more releases. All right, and when you come out slowly. Remember to do this every day for 14 days minimum, and then a couple days a week, just to maintain the positive changes. All right, so there's a second technique for headaches too I'm going to show you, and this is to help do soft tissue mobilization through an area of the head that has a muscle on it. So right here we have a temporalis muscle. It's like a half a moon shape, kind of goes right above the ear, maybe about an inch an inch above the ear, kind of like an inch in front to an inch in back. So it's about this big over here. And to find it, you can just take your fingertips, press in that area, and gently clench your teeth, and you'll feel the muscle bulge under your fingers, and that's how you know you're on it. And what you want to do is find the most tender or tight spot of the temporalis. You're going to do both sides. And if you're not sure, just go ahead and clench. I'll give you a few seconds to test yourselves. Clench, push on it, relax, and as you clench and relax, you'll feel the muscle bulge and relax under your fingers. Find where the tightest or most tender spot is. Mine tends to be a little bit further back on the left ear, and over here, it's not as bad. It's like right above my ear. All right, so in those positions, your fingers are curled like this, and you're using your fingertips, and they're kind of like little spiders, little spider legs with pressure. Don't be out here with your arms. Keep them down here so your shoulders are relaxed. If it's too much to do both at the same time, just do one at a time, because you might find that you have to hold up that arm, especially if you have shoulder problems. Okay, so we're going to set the timer. Go ahead and get in your position. If you haven't found it yet, pause this video, find it, and then come back, because we're starting. All right, so the timer is on. We're in that first minute of 5 minutes, and I'm just kind of pressing my fingers. I really found the tight, hard spot. So I'm going kind of like this. I'm doing a little circle in that spot. but I'm not going back and forth anymore. I found the spot, and I'm just doing little circles. I'm pressing, I'm maintaining the pressure on the same spot. So it's this kind of a thing. I'm kind of making a circle and compressing. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that. I'm on the spot, and I'm kind of changing the angle on it. So this is the mechanical energy you're using on that temporalis muscle. This is one of the big players in tension headaches. So if you have a headache, this is a great thing to do right away for yourself. You can be anywhere, you don't need any tools. And I'm just kind of changing the angle. And as you change the angle, you might find, oh my gosh, this is even a more intense spot. Good, stay there. Don't go back to your old angle. You always want to work on the most tender or the tightest spot. Sometimes a tight spot isn't painful, it just feels like a rock. But after you're on it for about 30 seconds, then it starts feeling tender. So you might get on a spot and go, oh, this is tight. Don't worry if you start feeling pain. It just means you found the right place. Remember the protocol, as long as you're breathing naturally and you're staying relaxed, you're not hurting yourself. You're doing fine. You stay in there, and you might start feeling sensations going across your head. You might feel a sensation coming forward through your eyes, or maybe back behind your ears or into your ear. That's great. It's just saying that there's a myofascial restriction there that over the years has created tension through the rest of the cobweb. So I've described this before in videos, but I want to keep explaining this because it's such an important concept to understand in myofascial release techniques. So in the fascial world, in the myofascial system, when there's been an injury, let's say overuse, repetitive use, a direct trauma to an area, stress, all of those things, surgery too, all of those things cause fascia to bind down, curl under, and place up to 2,000 pounds of force per square inch, whatever is in its way. Well, if those are pain-sensitive structures, which muscle is, you're going to have pain, and of course you can get spasm. Well, the fascial system is made from one single piece of material. So the fascia here is just a different length of the same single strands of fascia running through the rest of my body. So just like my grandmother, she could knit a scarf or a sweater for me from one single skein of yarn, so that whole sweater was connected through that yarn. It's the same in our body. Our body is connected through the fascial system. So if I snagged that sweater, let's say I have on one of her sweaters, and I snagged it here, you can see how it's putting lines of tension up across into the chest and over to the shoulders. It's the same thing here. You've got a snag or myofascial restriction, that area of tension. And over years, it can create tension and pulling through the rest of your sweater, i.e. your fascial system. And that's why you can get tension headaches here or across here or behind the eyes from a problem over here. Here's the problem, but this is where the pain is showing up. Does that make sense? So we're going to work here. Continue that pressure, don't stop. And remember, when we get to the 5 minutes, this video will end, but you are more than welcome to stay in that area for as long as you want, especially if you feel something going somewhere. You would want to stay here until that radiating symptom, wherever it's going to, settles down and relaxes. That means you've got a release here. You took care of that knot. It's starting to let go. You would continue doing this for 14 days in a row, both sides, hopefully, if you can. And then after that, to maintain those positive improvements, the positive changes you got from the work you did with your fascial self-treatment, another 3 times a week is probably best, like every other day, every third day, to help maintain that. And the reason is because we live life, and life still has us behind our computers, lifting, lowering kids, at our job, standing and bending over all day, or sitting and bending over all day. Those things also, that's repetitive use, and that causes those fascial restrictions. So keep working to counteract daily life. All right, we're at 5 minutes. You can slowly, slowly take your hand away, or if you prefer, you can continue going. Thank you for joining me today and showing up for yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.